And the third principle that I'm again inviting you to consider is around balance and harmony. So something fascinating I found out while preparing for this session with you is that fall represents a time of balance. The days and the nights are almost equal in length during fall. So it's a good moment in time for us to reflect on the balance that we have or don't have in our lives, evaluating whether or not we're overburdened, whether we have been stretched too thin across certain areas of life, what excess or excessive commitments and responsibilities are disrupting your equilibrium, what does not feel natural, what keeps you out of flow and rhythm, where we are failing to prioritize our self-care, and the impact that that is having on our sense of steadiness, of calm, of peace, and equilibrium. So as part of the coaching journey inside the Harvest Hub, we encourage as a foundation of this life planning and habit design, infusing things that are able to give us balance across various areas of our lives. It's important for us to focus on the productivity and accomplish the goals, but also to focus on ourselves, focus on our relationships, focus on our spiritual health, focus on the food that's going on our plate, and accept that every single thing does not demonstrate excellence in our habits at the same time. But when we're looking for balance, we know what is out of sync and necessary to bring back in sync. So sometimes we're bringing down the level of excellence on one thing so we can bring up and give some more balance and level in terms of other areas of our lives. So it could be wellness. So maybe instead of waking up early to do all that work to get ahead professionally, you're waking up early instead to exercise, to do meal prep, to pray, or to have a conversation with somebody who you haven't connected with in a while. So the question around balance for you, how balanced is my life in terms of self-care and external obligations? And if you're seeing imbalance showing up, are there areas where I need to set boundaries and maintain or create, because sometimes the balance is not there, to create the balance? So the season of fall invites us into several periods of reflection, several touch points as we focus on our growth and our development or expansion or whole self wellness. And it's why I say the Harvest Hub is a whole life coaching community, because we're not just talking about the goals and trying to exercise and trying to eat well. It's deeply looking at our lives at various points along the year to see what habits we can infuse, which ones we can improve, and where we need to do some more self-reflection to get to the root of some of the challenges we're facing in our professional, personal, or spiritual lives. So it's either the principle of letting go gracefully and not trying to paste back on the leaves when they're coming off, or stick yourself to a tree that is now in fall season and you're wondering, why am I not getting the nourishment from the tree? Why that tree and I make my leaf green again? That tree I make my life orange through the hurt, through the neglect, through the pain. But I know there was a time when that tree didn't make me green. But once stay upon a tree and become half green again, sometimes you need to die to that experience. Sometimes you're the leaf that falls and you have to decay, come down through the phoenix process, going through the fire, going through the ashes, so you can regenerate yourself and find new life, coming up through another rooted experience, blossoming in another way, probably at another tree root, or in another garden altogether. So the principle of letting go and doing that gracefully, the principle of impermanence and learning to embrace change as a natural part of life, and deciding consciously what we want to elongate and what we simply must allow to leave. And the principle also of balance and harmony, bringing our lives into equilibrium and ensuring that where there is none, we're designing appropriate boundaries to get us there. So I'll share on screen now this. So I'm inviting you all to join me for a 30-day release challenge. Now, this one is not as challenging as our Uncaged challenge was, but I have a list of 30 actions that will help you to release, to declutter, to rest, to give space or create space for new growth, and serve your highest good in this fall season. Now, the list is not dated, so you can literally pick what you're going to do each day. but it's something that I want you to pick from the list each day for the next 30 days. And it's a blend of activities. Some of them are repeated because you'd have to do them several times to deepen the impact each time. So scheduling quality time, clearing unread WhatsApp messages, removing sugar for a day from your diet, saying a prayer of release for someone who has hurt you. This particular release prayer, it's simply this: may you be happy, may you be well, may you live with ease. It was actually part of our self-love 7-day exercise when we were releasing and forgiving people in our lives. So this comes back again as a prayer for us, and I'll add that graphic inside the October section. So we have probably 2 or 3 days where I'm inviting you to say a prayer of release or write a forgiveness letter to somebody who has hurt you, whether or not they're alive, a forgiveness letter to yourself, just finding ways to release and give things up that are taking space in your spiritual life, but also in your physical space as well. Digital detox days are on there, looking for a day when you can sleep fully for 8 hours, clearing out a full day of your calendar, going in your calendar right now, just canceling something that make you feel overwhelmed and stressed, and releasing the need or the expectation we have of ourselves to be all things to all people, to be liked, to be embraced, to be accepted. And so we continue to give, clutter our calendar with things that don't necessarily serve our highest good, with the hopes that we won't lose the relationships and the connections in our lives, and so end up losing ourselves.